Hello to all of you. I'm hoping all is fine with everyone. We will start this international webinar at the designated time, 5 p.m. While we wait for few more participants to join, greetings to all, and we appreciate your attendance today. So let's kick start our session with this great quotation. Digital transformation in HR about evolving people practices with technology to unlock potential. A very good evening to all the guests and dignitaries. In this capacity, as your host for the worldwide webinar on digital transformation in HR, I, Saurabh, the host, would like to take this opportunity to extend to a heartily greetings to each and every one of you. It gives me great pleasure to extend a warm hello to each and every one of you gathered here today. It's a huge honor for us to have someone of this caliber here, whose involvement on the topic of digital transformation in HR adds so much value to it. Few lines regarding the topic. Digital transformation in HR is revolutionize the way organizations manage talent and optimize process by integrating advanced technologies like AI could platform and analyze HR teams can manage data-driven decisions and enhance employee experience. This shift enables business to stay agile, improve efficiency, and build a future-ready workforce. Before I proceed further, let me take a brief moment for the introduction of my organization. SEMS Welfare Foundation, a registered non-profit organization, is dedicated to social impact across various sectors. We focus on education, particularly skill development and entrepreneurship. Through our initiative Digitization, we have created training programs in IT, finance, retail, and entrepreneurship, impacting over 6,000 individuals. We are currently upskilling inmates in Haryana jails and collaborating with universities and colleges. We have also partnered with banks to place over 1,500 candidates in jobs. FameLeads, another SEMS initiative, empowers women through workforce and stories of successful fame entrepreneurs. We conduct programs on digital literacy, marketing, and career development, reaching over 1,000 women across multiple states. This initiative recently reached a milestone of 100 women actively involved. In just a short time, SEMS has established itself as a force for positive change, equipping individuals with skills for employment and promoting women's leadership in various sectors. Now, let me take this wonderful occasion to publicly present and welcome Sasikala Jaywal, the keynote speaker for today's international webinar. Few lines about her. Jaywal, a manager at a leading consulting firm, and driving HR transformation and recognized as a product lead for the recruiting module. A passionate speaker, advocate for women entrepreneurs. She is dedicated to inspiring change and empowering others. There are many gems and diamonds in the world, and one of them is here today to help us build this event. With this note, I, Saurabh, on behalf of SEMS Welfare Foundation, would like to give my heartiest welcome to Sasikala Jayawala, ma'am, for with a huge round of applause for joining us today. Your presence has added to the significance of this event, and we are genuinely honored to have you here, ma'am.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Saurav. Thanks so much for the introduction. So lovely. Very good evening to all, and I'm so excited to meet you all and interact with you all for today's session. So I'm sure that you all will enjoy the session, and the takeaway would be really interesting, and you would definitely gain so much of value being part of the session. So once again, a warm welcome, a very
Session
good
join
evening
करने
to you all and welcoming you to this digital transformation in HR. And I'm Sasikla Jaipal, and you can call me Sasi. And if you see my name, I have highlighted AI, which means that you all see future in. So, so this session is mostly about if you're in an organization and if any organization that starts with an employee, even if I'm starting a new company, the first thing that every company has to do is hiring an employee. Either we will be an employee come owner or an employee. So when we become an employee of any organization, it's highly important to value how an employee being treated in the organization. So in order to keep the organization successful, the first thumb rule is keeping the employee engagement and the candidate engagement and employee experience enrichment. So why we have to do all these things? So when it comes to the human resources, more than the salary that we get out of doing a work, it's an emotional connect that we have with an organization. So that's why if you see in our father's generation, and there are lots of people who worked for the same organization for a longer duration. It's not only for the salaried income, or it's not that they are not incompetent to move to a different organization. It's just that they had a bonding with the owner of that company or with the organization that they were working. But now, and also they might have a limited opportunities. But in our current generation, the world is so big and the opportunities are very much very big. So we have an opportunity to do a job hunt or to get multiple job offers in a short span of time because of lots of advancements in the digital world. So when you see a few years back, maybe 20 years back for that matter, if I want to apply for a job, I have to fill the form manually and put in a courier, or I have to watch the newspaper and do a walk-in interview, or I have to give my resume to my relatives where they will go to their office and refer me for a job. But do you think that process is still followed? Not at all. So we just have our mobile in hand. So we will just click on few job applications, fill the forms. Sometimes we pass our resume and then get into the job. And if we don't like the job, we can do another job search and we can find the job that we are more suitable of. So in this competitive world, for any organization to keep their organization more secure, it's the only way is to keep the employees more happier and more productive. So even if you see in if you are from a college, the moment you say a college name, right, it is recognized based on the academic that it brings on. It's not because of the size of the building or the AC buses that they run, or it's not about the capacity that the auditorium of the college holds. It's not about that. It's all about what the students of those college are achieving. What is the students are exposed into that college and how much exposure that they're getting in the college. So that makes a difference of how a human resources plays a role. So the same people when they come into a workplace, so now they all become an employee. So the human resources are plays a key role in understanding and improving the employee experience so that the great organization will feel that the employees are more belonged and they will contribute more to the organization. So it's not always the salaries, bonus will make the people so related to the organization. It's beyond that. That connect, that comfort, that warmth, that welcoming, that belonging will come only if the organization really cares for their employees and pass on the values properly. So with this note, we will get into the session of how a digital transformation in human resources plays a vital role in making the organization more enriched and more employee focused. Say, for example, I'll tell you one more instance. So, if you see 15, 20 years back, when if you ask, that's the time that India got into more of a multinational companies getting into the picture, and all our cousins and the relative kids were joining CTS, TCS, HCL, Infosys, and many more, Capgemini, many more. So, do you know how these companies got into the kids? Because of their parents. So, whenever they meet their other relative, they will say that my son got placed in a CTS or TCS or so and so company name, and they will talk something good about that company. And that is the reason that many households got the name or understood that there is a multinational company available and it is this name: TCS, CTS, Infosys, HCL, so many, Tech Mahindra, so many. So the internal employee marketing and the internal employee experience will actually bring more success to the organization. I can contribute more to the organization or more productive in my work only if I like the work I do. That's why if you see, if you're in a college, you will pay more attention to the classes where you like the lecturer. So that plays an important role in our career, right? So that is why the organization should also focus on digitally transforming themselves based on the generation that we are in. Now we are in this Gen Z generation, so it's important to have a high focus towards it. All right. With this note, let's get into the session. So why do we need to this purpose of a digital transformation in the organization? It's mainly for competitive advantage. So when we say that if we are ahead of some organization, it's not that that particular organization and us are competing each other. We cannot compete from one to one basis. That is not a healthy competition. The competition is actually from our company to the entire companies that is coming up in the future. So if our product is not pre-focused and proactive in bringing the transformation that another product on the market could bring, then we are not competitive enough. So it is important to understand how efficiently we can get the work done in our organization so that we can communicate the same to the other people. So that is important. So if you do, instead of a ledger or writing in a register, or instead of maintaining hundreds of Excel sheets in the organization, it is important to have a proper SaaS software which is affordable, ease of maintenance, and simple and efficient. So with this software, if we could make our job more easier and data secured, then that is the competitive advantage for the organization that will eventually bring an improved efficiency and productivity. So if there is an Excel maintained, then it becomes the ownership of an individual. If it is a software, if that person is sick or for some reason the person has not able to turn up, then the other person can pick up the work and continue act. So it is important to have improved efficiency system in us that will help us to drive towards our organization goals. So if you ask me, the digital tools and platforms facilitate collaboration among team departments and even with the external partners or the stakeholders. This can also lead to better communication and good knowledge sharing and more effective teamwork. So with these new business models coming into the picture, so if our organization is digitally transformed and with all the efficiency it should have, that will bring an exploring to new revenue streams and the business models. So any organization can create innovative products and services and ways of engaging with customers, but that were not possible before. I'll give you one classic example. So, whenever we go for any shopping mall, right, we are buying clothes. So, I can buy my clothes that I wanted. And the moment I buy my clothes, they will say, like, ma'am, you want a membership card. And it is a free of cost. Most of the textile, they offer a free of cost membership card. Do you know why? It's because that particular card you will always have it in your wallet. Because whenever you open a wallet, you see that particular card. Even though you're not watching it in the mobile or even though you're skipping their ad in the YouTube, they don't care. But you're watching their card in your mobile. So that personal touch they first want to bring it on. Next, whenever you come back, whenever you go to the mall, you wanted to go to that particular shop because you're already a member of it so that you would get some benefits of it. So this is the marketing strategy that they are making you to visit them again. So this how it is possible because they are digitally transformed. So if it is the old store and if I want to go to the older 10 20 years back, if I want to go to that shop and if the product is have high quality and an affordable price, we will go to that shop again. Otherwise we will not, right? And the way the shopkeeper treat us. So as I said that in our older way of shopping is more of a quality. So if we buy a product, it's only for the quality and an affordable price and the long lasting experience. But now with this high competitions, we have to keep our audience more engaged and the customers more engaged because we have plenty of options. We don't have to go to the store. We can just order online and we get it in the doorstep. But still, if if in case I thought of going back to the store, then the shopkeeper should make an arrangement, should create a thought process, curiosity in me, so that I visit that particular store. So this all this can be achieved only if I keep my purpose of the organization is more customer focused and my internal employee focused. So this is the role that it plays. If I keep my system completely transformed, then I can hire people who can do quality work for me. So in this modern generation, nobody likes to do a mediocre job. They are easily getting bored of, and the kids that who are coming to work are easily getting bored of. They do not want to do the same work again and again. They want more of an interesting and challenging work, so that they can better understand the process, and they're more success focused, and they have wanted to grow higher in their career in a short span of time, and there are possibilities for it. When you see in our older generation, if you see the CEO of an organization or the vice president of the organization would maximum would always be above 50 years of age. But now if you can see, the 24 and 23 years of kid can also be a CEO of a company and can be a successful organized CEO of a company. So how is this possible? Because the organization is fully digitized. When I say digitized, it is more organized and digitized. It's not that they will just buy some software and keep the system more organized. No, they know their value, they know the purpose of that company, and where are all the areas that they have to digitize. They are focused on it, and doing that digitization, that will help the company to grow in high. So I'll tell you one more story. Okay, in 2007, there was one software that got launched, and that disrupted the entire world. Can anyone guess what is that? That one invention, one software that disrupted the entire world. Many industries shut down their business and walked out of the business market. Can you guess what it is? Anyone? You can put in the chat if you get the response. If you could guess something, you can put in the chat. Okay, so since we have a limited time, I'll go ahead with that. So it is iOS launch, the launch of an iOS. So that changed consumer behaviors and set a stage for the mobile first world we live in today. So it redefined how people communicate, access information, conduct business, and interact with technology, making it one of the most significant technological disruptions of 21st century. What it brought? It brought camera and music and calling in one device. Prior to it, we all had a digital camera to capture the images, and we all were using MP3 players or Walkman or tape recorder to listen to music, and we all were having an old small phone where we use only for dialing. So they combined these three softwares in one device and offered to the public, which disrupted the entire market. Now we do not have tape recorders. Now we do not have MP3 players. Now we do not have Walkman. All this and digital cameras. No, digital cameras are not majorly in use. It's only with the professional cameras they are using it, but majorly it's not in use. So all these businesses, they literally shut down and started innovating on something. So if you're not innovating and if you're not thinking ahead, proactive, no matter how giant you are in a business, one day we have to shut down and move on. It's because if we are not thinking and proactive and growing ahead with the technological advance. So that is very much important. How we are technologically advanced and understanding the market need and just running along with the market and the people emotion. That is very much important. So if we understand that, it is very much easier. So this is the purpose of digital transformation. So now we could understand, right? So if you see here, if any organization, whenever they do a digital transformation, they're mostly aligned on strategic, whether if it is a customer centered or an employee centric approach, and how we are agile and innovative in our process. And whenever we decide on something, it should always be a data driven, so I'll tell you one example. If in case you are in a college and if they want to select a team sorry college representative or a class representative. Earlier days, what they will do, they will just pick up whomever they like, the lecturer or the class teacher, whomever they like. They will nominate them as a class teacher, class representative, or a class leader, or a college rep, or a chairman in the college, or whatever, right? But now there are parameters to decide someone whether the person is actually capable of becoming a college representative or class representative, and they will check it with the people, and based on data they take a decision whether it is the person is really capable to take up that roles and responsibility, isn't it? So that is something, a data driven decision making. Even if someone is saying something to you, always don't go with an emotional connect because of someone is really upset, and because someone is wants to build a relationship with us, and they are giving up this kind of complaint. So in an organization, if someone is complaining about other individual, they always go with the data, what has been said and what happened, and what is the conversation could have happened, and then the HR will take a decision. The HRs will never take a decision based on two individual conversation. They always take decision on what's happened in the metrics and the data driven. So it is all, and it is also important to be of strategic align. Then what is strategic align? So whatever the digital initiatives we make it, for example, earlier when we want to get into the office, we will just go sign the register and get in. Now we have an access card, so we will swipe and go. Some places it's biometric, so we will keep our thumb or whatever the impression, and then we will get it, right? So with this strategic alignment, with this digitization, so you are advancing the system. So you don't have to check at what time the person came in and what time stepped out. You don't have to monitor everything. You don't have a human eye to monitor it. That is important. That is a very boring job. And now with this generation, people doesn't want to do boring job. So they all want innovative things. So they found a software which can track this time in and time out, and we can clearly find out how long an individual is in the office or in the organization, and what time they stepped in and what time they stepped out. So all these informations can be captured with digital initiative, and also it can be integrated with your organization goals. And when it is properly integrated, this helps customer experience, streamline operations, and also drives the growth of an organization. So how it happens? And strategic alignment is very much important, because if I'm taking some initiatives or I'm investing on something, how it benefits me at the back. Some investments may be immediate, some investments may take some time, but I have to find out whether it is right investment or not. Say for an example, there is a two difference of it, investment and expenditure. If you're in a college, if your parents are spending money on your education, that is called investment. And if they are getting you a nice car or bike to commute, or expensive clothes, very costly mobile phone, all those are expenditure. So investment will give me a proper growth at a longer run. Expenditure will give me a small short-term pleasure. It will not bring a revenue. Maybe it is not a it will not bring a loss. What is the gain that they get out of it? Their kids are happy. The kids are safe in going to the college or coming back. So, and the kids can be reached with that mobile phone that they are holding. So that is the comfort or the gain that the parents get it, but it's still an expense. But the education money that they spend on is an investment. So just try to understand the investment and the expenditure difference, so that you will be able to know whether I'm taking a proper strategic alignment or not. Clear? All right. So next is ecosystem collaboration. So when I say ecosystem collaboration, so this is about creating a digital ecosystem that leads to new business models and opportunities. So, in our organization, whenever some digital advancements we are doing it, say for an example, earlier days when we want to do a meeting, we all gather in a meeting room and stand or sit next to each other. and talk to each other and conduct meetings and explain details to the individual. Now we don't have it, right? We all are connecting to each other through a meeting invite in our mobile phones, in comfortably sitting in our home and just munching something and just talking to our friends and talking to our family, and we are also learning. So this ecosystem collaboration. So this actually creating a new business model, right? Imagine that 20 years back you thought that you would learn something like this in a short span of time. No, that is not possible. It is beyond our imagination. So the moment it started digital advancements over a year, that we could see that there are so much things, so many opportunities coming up, so many business models coming up. So now if you see Danzo, Blinkit, the moment you order in 10 minutes, they are delivering things at your see. Earlier, if you see that, I do not know when I was a kid, how many times I went to buy curry leaves in the shop, how many times I went to buy last minute groceries stocked out. I do not know. I was asked to go to the shop and buy it. But now with this advancement, even if the moment that our mom or elders in the family forget something, we can just quickly order in our mobile and it's coming to us in 10 minutes of, isn't it? So this is a digital ecosystem, and that is giving a job opportunity for so many individuals. And also I will request you to do one thing. See, whenever you're calling some customer care, and do not choose a common language, always choose your local language. Say for an example, I'm from Tamil Nadu, and if I'm calling any customer care, they will say like press 1 for English, press 2 for some language, press 3 for some language, press 4 for Tamil. Example. Then I wait and I always press the number 4. Why I have to do it? I can speak in English fluently. I can take a call in English and then just ask my query and get the response. But if I press the number 4, I'm giving an job opportunity or a continuous job to someone who is belong to that language, who can speak to that language, and who is working in that call center, isn't it? Then these kind of opportunities, these kind of call center opportunities will be given to the native speakers because they are fluent in that native language. And if in case we all choose a common language, these kind of job opportunity will eventually fade away. So just think of all these things. Our small behavior, small action will make some change in someone's life. We really do not know what our change, uh, uh, our actions, how it is bringing a better life to. So just try to check a purpose on each and every time that we do it. So that would make our life more purposeful, more valuable. Let us live our life more valuable, purposeful, and make and support the environment that we are in. So that is something called ecosystem collaboration. Next, what is the primary focus of an organization? Why an organization has to be designed or focused with values and advancement? The main reason is employee empowerment. As I always say, employees are your first internal marketing team. Nothing works than an internal marketing. So employee empowerment is very much important. And technology integration, security and compliance, and strategic partnership. So when I say employee empowerment, provide training and resources to help employees adapt to new technologies and the work processes. So empowered employees are always better equipped to drive the organization transformation effort. So we all faced one crisis recently, right? The COVID. So to understand the impact it creates, to understand the process it brings, to understand the behavioral change or emotional connect that we all get into. So it took some time for it. And after that, the schools, colleges, everyone started teaching kids through their online platform, and the education continued to some extent for some luxurious kids, whereas to the remote areas it couldn't even reach that. Why? If in case the government invested on the remote area people as well in advance, forget about the COVID, but technology is advanced, but it didn't even reach the remote areas, right? So if in a village, if the kid had access to internet and at an affordable or a free of cost, then the education gap would have not occurred at all, right? So that kind of an empowerment is always important. So it's not only for the government and the public, even in the organization. If I'm bringing some advancements to an organization, so today I'm running a, say a example at home also, if you're appointing a maid, and whenever our maid is working on a kitchen, and if we have decorated our kitchen or made a renovation in a kitchen, and if there is something happening, then we have to tell or train our maids or the supporting staff to work on that area properly, right? So we will always say that if you're washing glass items, then you should use this scrub. If in case you're washing the, other items, then you should use this scrub. If it is a non-stick, then use this. So that kind of a little bit of training and advancement and patience is required. If it is at home itself, we need so much of patience and training. Imagine an organization that you're running. People are from difference of culture, difference of educational background, different thought process. That empowerment, employee empowerment to an advanced technology has to be proactively equipped for our employee. So just work towards that. So provide training and the enough resources to help employees to adapt to the new technology. So that is all about employee empowerment. Next is technology integration. So when I say technology integration, so in an option, so we will always have employee HR system, we will have a benefit system, payroll system, leave management. So this is, if not all these are integrated, then we will not get a proper salary. At the end of the day, if the salary is affected, it is legally punishable act, that if someone is not paid properly by the organization in spite of getting the work from them. So it is important for an organization to technologically integrate all these systems through a proper channel and ensure a proper maintenance to the ensure the data flows between these systems accurately. I'll give you an example. If I'm an employee and if I'm working in an organization, if I work for 30 days in a month, and imagine I get 10,000 rupees as a salary. And if in case I'm working for 25 days, I have taken 5 days of sick leaves or some leave, then I should be paid for 25 days of salary, right? So if the system is not integrated, if I recorded leave in a leave system, and if the leaves are not updated to my payroll system, then the system will not know that Sasi has to be paid for 25 days for this month, not 30 days, because she has taken 5 days of leave, isn't it? So who will communicate this from leave system to the payroll system? So the system has to be properly integrated in order to have a proper data flow. Third, security and compliance. Our data is wealth. So our data has to be properly secured, and it should adhere to the law of the nation. So implement robust cybersecurity measures to protect sensitive data and ensure compliance with relevant regulation. With increased digitization comes the need for enhanced security measure. You get my point? So whenever, even if you see, whenever I'm download a WhatsApp, it will give me a huge terms and agreement saying that I'm agree to all these things because of using this app. Even when you logged into Teams, it could have asked you like allow camera, mic to use this. So those kind of security and compliance we have to ensure. So that's why we should always try to connect with the platform which is highly secured. Otherwise, our data gets leaked out, and then we will be in trouble. So always ensure that you have the right mobile applications in your mobile, because there are lots of scam happening. So do not fall for that. Do not fall into that trap. Just be secure. Even the most educated person in a busy life, they do not check what application is that, what link is that. They casually get a message and they click onto it, and that would make a huge financial loss for them, because they will have their banking application in the mobile. So that will read the banking data, and the money transfer would have been happened. So security and compliance not only for an organization, even it is for an individual. What is an organization? The organization is not the bench, chair, laptop, mic. It's all the human being. So if the human beings are properly secured and compliance in thoughts and actions, the same thing will reflect in the organization as well. And the fourth one, strategic partnership. So collaborate with the technology partners, startups, industry experts to leverage the external expertise and always stay updated on the emerging trends and technology. That is very much important. So we should always see, what's coming up, what's coming up, what's coming up. So there were times that we all were in awkward and then moved on to Facebook, moved on to Instagram, and moved on to so many things. I do not know. I stopped after Instagram. I do not know what's now. So maybe people keep moving things, right? So because they wanted a different experience. What it brought? It's an experience. It's all free of cost. But why people are keep moving from one application to another? It is bringing a different experience, different interest, different actions to do it at more convenience area. So that's why always do that strategic partnerships. That's why Facebook acquired WhatsApp, acquired Instagram. So they did because they wanted to have a strategic partnership that will bring more population into a one area of focus. So that is something very important for an organization to think about. Next, we have seen this benefits of primary focus for an organization. Now we always also see that what the benefit it would bring. So I think most of this area I have already covered, but one thing I want to cover is that cost save. So if you ask me, you always think that buying a software is costlier, and why an organization should buy a software and maintain it? They could easily maintain in a ledger or a register book or an Excel sheet or an in-house tool. Why they have to invest on something on a product that will bring a digital transformation in the organization? The answer is while the initial investment in the digital transformation can be significant, but over time, organizations can realize so cost savings through streamlined processes, reduced operational inefficiencies, and optimized resource allocation. So if a 10 people can do one job, 10 manpower, and if a software can make that be done by the two people, then it's a huge cost saving for the organization for a longer run. And it's because of investment on a particular software product. So that's the place that cost savings come into the picture, and talent attraction and retention. So embracing digital transformation can make an organization more appealing to the top talent, particularly the younger professionals who are accustomed to working with cutting edge technology, isn't it? So this young crowd, the young professionals, they want to work in an environment where they are more advanced digital area. So if our organization is not able to attract the young talents, then that organization will never grow, isn't it? So that's why if you see people from south industries will invite people from north to come and work from their organization, and it's vice versa. And Indian employees go abroad and work, and some people from the other countries will come to India and work. It's because that it has to be a collaborative effort. If the same people are thinking, even in our family, right? If all four of us are sitting and thinking of something, we will go to someone whom we look up to, and we think that that person will look at this matter in a different format and give us a solution. Why? Because if the same people are thinking, then the process, the thought process, everything will be of a monotonous and in the same similar manner. But if it has been done by someone else, they are brought up from a different background, different culture, different tradition. Their thought process will be different, and they can bring a better solution for us. If a family itself can think of like this, then imagine an organization. It's smart, isn't it? Yeah. So the next is how an organization can be more digital capabilities and how it can emerge to that is something we're going to see now, how an organization can do this. So skills gap, identify a skill gap. So whenever we are implementing or advancing the system, it's not that all our employees will also be quickly adapt to that environment, right? So it's the same thing. When we were going to college and studying through lectures, class books, classwork, and just being monitored by our lecturer, and suddenly if you are given an opportunity to just be on the video call and watch it, learn it, take notes by yourself, no one monitors you what you're doing, and then you will have a test. That becomes a little difficult. But that skill gap has to be identified, and it has to be given a successful implementation and making them to understand the new technologies in a way that it has to be understood. So that might leads to some delays and inefficiencies, but that is something organization should bear it. So if you see here in a classroom of 50 people, if it is a physical classroom, the scores could have been like 80% on an average. And if it is through a online platform, the scores could have been like 60% on an average. So that kind of inefficiencies will always be there. But that is something we can't do. It will take a time. But now it is like the online classes are also successful. So we need to give that time and that accept the delays and understand and motivate people, encourage them to grow heights and accept the situation as it is and support them. Only then these skills gaps can be fixed. It's not only for the home college, it's also for the organization. And data security and privacy. So as organization digitize their processes and gather more data, they also face increased risk to data breaches, cyber attacks, and compliance with privacy regulations. So that is important. So even whenever you are going to any shop, don't give your details completely to them. And especially if they ask you for an Aadhaar card or if they ask you for a PAN card for any ID verification, just ensure that you're giving to the right people for a right purpose. Otherwise, consult. Check with people whom you look up to and ensure if there is no data breach or uh, something happens because of this casually you given to someone and it created a breach in the future. So don't do that. Your data, your information has to be private, and you are the person who has to properly govern it. So it's not only for an individual and also for an organization. And there is, even though all these things are happening, right? There will always be some resistance to change. It'll always be there, even though we talk more to our employees about digitization and upskilling and just going ahead with the flow and understanding the market and adapting to the situation. There will always be some employees or some individuals at home, they will say like, I don't change, I just want to be in my own way, I'm happy with the way I am, I just want to follow the old school method or old methodology. So those kind of things also the organization should understand. And due to some reasons they might have this problem, so we have to understand and ensure that this is not happening, and we should give them a time and make them more involved in an activity, so that will make them to adapt to this change. It's not only in employees, even the leadership at times may resist to adopt new technologies and processes due to concerns about job security. Maybe they are not liking the new tools or a preference for the status quo. So many could be the reasons, right? Say for an example, earlier we wanted to go to a shop. We if we are going for a jewelry shop, and if you want to buy something expensive, we have to carry a huge amount of cash, and we have to ensure that it's so safe from the time we take it from home to the shop and we buy a jewel and come back home. There is so much of thought process on safeguarding that money and the jewel. But now that's not the case. We can just carry our mobile phone and go, isn't it? That's advanced payment have come into the picture. So there were still people were resist to change. Then Paytm introduced a small device, right? So the moment you scan something, and then it will say like the amount 50 rupees received, the amount 100 rupees received. So find something that would help people who are resistant to change or adapt to the new technology. Okay, so that finding will come only if you feel that the market is yours and the environment is yours, and the people whom you want to interact, whom you want to make business and make money out of it, is actually at your root, at your ground level. It's for your people. That purpose drives you to find something innovative. So it's actually finding a problem in this market and finding a solution for it. Why people are not adapting to this digital payments? Because they are not feeling safe or clear whether the money deposited to their account or not. So they found a device that will shout at you saying that, hey, your amount 20 rupees credited, 10 rupees credited. Then the old women or a man at a shop is completely happy, and the important is it is communicating in your local language. That is even more important. So that is how you solve a problem. The moment you solve a problem in a market, the money will automatically grow. That everyone started buying that device, and automatically the cash flow is in with the organization of that, right? So that is very much important. Next, so whenever we do this organizational with the more digital capabilities or capacities, we also have some disadvantage of having that, isn't it? So sometimes the digital transformation initiatives involves more investments in technology, training, and infrastructure. So organizations may struggle with budget overruns or some unexpected expenses, and also uncertain return of invest. So at times, right, at times if we invest on something, it's not that we always get that return of invest. It is the same for an organization. So organization will be focused on their invest on something, but it can be very difficult to accurately measure the ROI of that digital transformation initiative, especially in the short term. So that leads to uncertainty about the value of the investments made. So on also the lack of customization. So some digital tools may not be fully meet the unique needs of an organization. That also leads to limitations in customization and adaptation. Say, I brought a that Paytm mission which says that 50 rupees credited, 60 rupees credited, right? So we have seen the scam also, right? Some people in that QR code, they are pasting their own QR code in that in the shop, and whatever the others are scanning, it is getting credited to their account, not to the shop owner. So these kind of some uncertainty may result with this digital advancement, but it is a risk, and it needs lot of governance, because at the end of the day, the moment we open some opportunities, some disadvantages, some risk comes as a byproduct, isn't it? So I'll give you one more example. So the moment bike racing bike have come into the picture, it is a risk, for our road conditions. And if a boy or if a 18 years or 19 years runs on a high speed, that leads to some discomfort on the people who are traveling along with them, and also for the safety issue of an individual. But in spite of that, the guy would always want to get that bike as a owner. So all these things, any fashion or any digital advancements or anything that comes into the picture, it will always comes with a risk. If someone is delivering a product to me in 10 minutes, the person is actually driving little faster to deliver a product to me in 10. So it is actually a risk of an individual who drives faster on road, isn't it? So any advancements will also have a risk, but as an individual, that's where we have to use a human brain and take a proper decision whether I have to go with a low risk or a high risk product. So just think about. Sometimes we also get it, right? So we all get scammed by someone saying that if you put more money into this, if you give me 1,000 rupees every month for 5 months, and then I'll give you 2,000 rupees in interest. Something like this, the scam will keep continuing. So do not fall for all these things. Always analyze the risk before investing on anything. It is not only for an organization, it's also for an individual. So don't live life without it. Okay, this is a huge story behind it. It is a American Express. It is an American Express card. So if you are ever used American Express credit cards or the cards, you will know how they digitally revolutionized their organization. So we have seen a Nokia brand, right? Nokia is not digitally competent, so they're not able to run the business. They were ruling the market for ages, but after that they didn't advance themselves, so they couldn't withstand in the market. But American Express understood the need of it and constantly, continuously upgrading themselves and adapting to the digital challenges, and they were able to withstand in their market for a longer duration and still date. So that continuous improvement is important. So the moment I studied my engineering, the moment I studied my graduation, if I stop learning, then what happens? Then I cannot be competent in them. I have to keep myself upgrading, understanding, and continuously learning so that I can be competent in the market. So that is not only for an organization, it is also for an individual. So American Express is one such client who have proved that they are constant and continuous improvement. All right. So next is connecting aspiration. Who are they? Tata Motors. So the Tata Motors in the digital market, so they came back, they bounced back in the Indian market, saying that we can become number one if we invest on digital metamorphosis. So they also faced a huge loss in the Tata Motors, and then they brought this electronic revolution. So that's why the Tata Motor EV vehicles, that electric vehicles with the smart manufacturing, brought back into the market, and they are running successfully. I'll just take a couple of minutes more. I know we are due for a time. I have just a couple of minutes.
It's
And the other
fine. You can continue. Yeah.
all right, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, thanks. So the other vendor I want to talk about is never have a bad meal. So who said Zomato? So Zomato brought into a revolution. It is a simple thought that they had in mind. They want to connect the restaurants and the customers at a ease of access. So that brought into a digital feast of a transformation for an individual. If I'm hungry, if I want some food, if I want to bring a guest to my home and I don't have to cook so much, if I just order something in Zomato or any similar food vendors, they will bring the food to my home from a restaurant of my own choice, isn't it? So that digital feast, that transformation that the organization adopted have brought a change in the market. So it is important to understand the digital advancements and always be cautious on the risk and compliance that it will bring. So with this, I wind up my session on digital transformation. So please let me know if you have any questions or anything that you wanted to check with. And you can unmute and speak, or I'm watching the chat. You can put your queries in the chat. We will discuss about that. Any questions, anything you want to get it clarified, please put in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions that anyone have and anything you wanted to put it as a feedback or comment, so please feel free, put it up.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon.
Nitish this side, ma'am.
Hi, Nitish. Yes.
Ma'am, I right now study of finance in
Uh-huh.
PGDM.
Mm-hmm.
I was facing some issue.
Mm-hmm.
In last year, I applied many internship in other finance, but I cannot get
Hmm.
some related that issue I faced. And you are, ma'am, working on PwC. How can I
Hmm.
get internship with PwC?
Okay, that's a good question. So, Nitish, you have to apply to a PwC website and go to that opportunities and apply for that internship. And then, if your profile matches with our organization policies, they will call you for an internship. And there is no shortcut of this. It's an organization. Through the process, they will select the individual based on their profile. So please proceed with that process. And if your profile matches, they definitely call you for an internship.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm watching the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Your presentation was so good, and I just have a clarification in terms of HR digital transformation, which you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned. Actually, business is actually usually present and whatever it will act active. And what is
Mm-hmm.
your advice on formalized kind of HR digital transformation?
So it differs from organization to organization. So firstly, we have to find out what is the purpose of the organization and what is our aim in achieving it and what is the problem that we are facing in our organization. So we have to do those discoveries first and write down those discovery questionnaires like what is the problem that I'm facing in the organization and how I can solve it. And if some solving maybe through an email, some can be solved through a proper discussion, proper communication, Some can be solved through a transparency. Some need a software to solve. When it goes to a software, then we have to think about how much an organization can invest for this problem and what is the return of invest. So there are strategic analysis has to be taken before an organization investing on a product and finding a solution to a problem. So at a high level, if you ask me, unless we do the strategic assessment, we wouldn't be able to guide you which product would solve your problem because I do not know what the problem is.
Great. And how do you think that could to be discovered that digital transformation and agile transformation, ma'am? Because normally, digital transformation is different from agile transformation. What is your view that which one will be better to take the leadership in a new role, new skill, and new competency in working with a new kind of team?
Okay. See, be it an agile transformation, it is something like step by step taking baby steps first. So first they will find a huge problem. In that, they will break the problems into pieces, and they will try to solve problem per problem. So, say for an example, if I have a problem in going to school, okay, uh, what will I do first? I have to find out what and all is making me not going to school. I don't like my school. I School is very much far away. So and school gives me lots of homework to write. So I will write down all the problems and then solve problem by problem. That is actually an agile methodology. And if out of 10 problems, if 4 or 5 problems solved, then I will be happy to go to school. So okay, so that is an agile methodology. So if I break my problem into small problems, then if I focus on completing those small problems, then the digital advancements is also the same. If an organization faces problem in communication, problem in transferring data, problem in keeping the employees disciplined, problem in operating, then we have to identify those problems and solve problem by problem. Then we can see like how a holistic picture can be maintained and recovered. So that is the approach we have to follow.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Premanand.
You, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, ma'am. I just wanted to ask you, you're talking about digital transformation. What about the various scams which are happening due to this digital transformation? And a common man, say, in the banking sector or other sectors, how can a common man really become aware of all these kind of things because he does not understand the digitization process that much?
That's a very good question. So that's the thing. So, the more you open to the internet and the accessibility of data, that will also lead to some risk. So, as an individual, you always be careful that your money, your individual data is your highest priority. So first, ceiling on desire. The moment we see something, right, the people will always create a curiosity in us and make us to fall for that scam. So have always a contented life. Ceiling on desires is important. Someone will come and say like, I worked for this in MLM business and I brought a new car, a fancy new car. I worked for this and I brought a expensive home. I have a huge cash and they will dress up nicely and I was like this and I became like this. So they create that curiosity, but always think no matter what happens, hard work and continuous hard work will always get us something better. So this short term happiness, short term growth only will fall into a trap. So as an individual, the ceiling on desire is something that I have to follow discipline. And if I follow that, then anything that comes to me as a threat, I will think twice before just falling for it. If someone sends me a message, if you click on this message, you will get 1,000 rupees credited to your Google Pay. I will not click onto it because I am very much sure 1,000 rupees I have to work and get. And only if I work and if I give my knowledge or if I give my thoughts, I will earn money, not just by clicking on the link. If I have that thought, if I have that contented life, if I know that hard work alone can get me something, then I don't fall for these traps. So that personal discipline, self-awareness, self-discipline is important. Only that can lead our take away from all these threats and the scam. Sometimes they will call me and say like, your mobile number is selected for something. If you send me 1,000 rupees, we will check your account and we will send you back 10,000 rupees. With the way they speak, with the market themselves, we all believe for them, and we might do that, but don't do it, because we know that 10,000 has to be worked hard. If you ask my father, he will never do it because he knows that 10,000 is not an easy money. You can't get it just like that. So it's the same thing for us also. So just have that self discipline. So that will make you to question how you can give me 10,000. Why? How does it benefit you? Who are you? Can I call the police? And can I tell it to someone? Then they will immediately disconnect the call. So that's how you will be self aware of yourself and stay away from all these threats.
Another thing, ma'am, I wanted to ask you, because people normally have a perception that
Mm,
digitization or all these kind of things bring in fast money, right?
mm,
So yeah, and like you have said that you have to be very cautious because hard work only pays, right? But
mm.
then people say that it is a smart work which pays, that you have to be digitally smart and you make a lot of money. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I just wanted to ask you, what about
Mm.
this digital currency which is in prevalent nowadays? Is that this cryptocurrency kind of a
Uh,
thing?
See,
Eh,
cryptocurrency is always subjective to risk. Okay, if you're not aware of how cryptocurrencies operates, then always invest in a small quantity. So today I heard that the Bitcoin have reached $100,000 and there is so much of celebration happening. So when I was to buy a Bitcoin, it was 1,000 rupees. Okay, but 1,000 rupees is a huge amount for me at that time. Okay, but if in case I have invested 1,000 rupees, today it could have become a 8 crore for me. But I don't have any regrets because 1,000 rupees is an investment for me and I could have lost my 1,000 rupees also. So, but if the faster growth will also bring a negative impact, adverse effects. So, if you're investing on cryptocurrencies, always invest on small quantities. If someone had said that don't invest 1,000 rupees, invest 50 rupees or 100 rupees, I could have definitely done it during that time. So that could have definitely brought me something around at least a 1 crore by now instead of an 8 crore. But I didn't do that because I was not aware that I can invest on a smaller quantity, which is something of my control. Even if it is lost, I'm managed. So whenever taking a risk, always do a calculative risk. That is fine.
Ma'am, another thing which I want to ask you, is cryptocurrency a reality? Bitcoin and all this?
It is tradable. It is legal nowadays. So you please check the process, policies, and again invest through a proper vendor portal.
Okay, I'll just tell you. Today in Facebook, I was just seeing a video of Mukesh Ambani promoting Bitcoin, right? And I just clicked on the thing to join or something, and immediately I got a call. I don't know, that call was from Saudi Arabia or something, and I did not pick it up, and I blocked that call. So I really do not know whether it's a reality or it's something fake going on actually.
So I do not know about that promotional video, but as far as I know, that
And
Bitcoin.
there is a promotional video which is very much prevalent in the Facebook where Mukesh Ambani says that you give me 20,000 rupees and I will make your money grow very fast or something. And I don't know what all is going on. And then there is a dispute between Mukesh Ambani and State Bank of India also. Well,
Uh,
I don't know whether what's the reality going on actually.
No, no,
But these,
I'm no. That's why I'm saying that I'm not worried about it, and I'm not. I know I don't want that faster growth with the risk. I wanted to
Mhm,
hard work, and I'm fine with even if I don't get. No, I'm telling you, right? I'm not getting 8 crores of that 1,000 rupees investment. I don't have any regret because I don't want a luxury lifestyle that can bring me happiness. I'm
mhm,
contented with what we have, and I think that even if I do a calculative risk on the investments on the SIPs and the FDs and my
mhm,
RDs, whatever it brings, that I'm happy about it. As long as I'm healthy and I'm knowledge is the biggest wealth. So
mhm.
knowledge, healthy, and a roof above me, 3 days, 3 times a meal, I'm totally fine. I don't need
Mhm.
anything else. So that is what I'm passing on to my next generation, and that is what I learned from my previous generation, and that is something I want to pass on to my next generation. Nothing
What
else.
would you say that this cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, which you know you yourself said, is something which we can do, we can trade on it.
You, that's why I'm saying if you want, you can trade, but trade on with a calculated risk. Understand it is subjective to market risk, so understand well, and then if you still like it, invest on.
Okay, but is that legally permissible?
Legally for now. Legally in India, it is still legal. That is something I.
It is still illegal, no?
It is still legal, but you have to do. See, don't go with someone's words. Always do a research and always do an investment based on your personal choice, based on the risk analysis that you, so that you don't have to blame someone on the future saying that that lady came and told me to invest on Bitcoin, so I invested and I lost my money, or else that lady came and told me to invest, I invested and I got money. Don't do that. Always do it for you, so that you know you become a better judge and take decisions. That is where I think take a data decision. Should always be made on the data driven.
No, because
And yeah, yeah.
let me
No,
yeah.
Sanjay, just a second. I want to answer in another question on the chat. So, how can digital transformation address challenges like employee engagement and productivity in a hybrid or remote work environment? This is a good question. So, Debanshli, what happens is, if in case nowadays organization, it is not like that you have to go in person and take up work, so you can connect virtually also. So to build that connect and the organization connecting people at home in their hometown. So, and some of us working in India, we connect with the US, UK people, and vice versa. So the business models have become, so it is all possible because of the digital advancement. So the software investments and the trust that the software brings on, and the security and compliance that the software follows. So that is very much accepted by the organizations, and that's why they're more able to engage in with the organization, and that would help them to grow and achieve results. And next question from Piyush: can you suggest some government satisfied? No, that's why I'm saying that I will not suggest any platform to invest for currencies. Please do a self analysis, self market risk analysis before investing on something. Nitish, what opportunities that PwC offers? So Nitish, it's again, please, apply for a opportunity through a portal and see how it, follow the process. And if they select you, and within an organization, you will have enough opportunities to grow up in your career. So any organization for that matter, if you join, you will, if you show your 100%, either you will gain knowledge or you get a better experience. So that would help you to grow strong and higher in your career. So I can take one last question. So if you have any other questions, you can put that in the chat. And I think I was heard that we have to take up some group picture or something. If you want, we can take that also. Yes.
No, no, ma'am, let's round up the on. I have to say, on behalf of the organization committee, I would like to express my heartily vote of thanks to our excellent speaker, Sasikala Jayawala. Today, we got the opportunity to listen to an interesting and thought-provoking discussion on digital transformation in HR. The amount of expertise and passion displayed by ma'am really enhanced our grasp on the
Thank you.
digital transformation in HR. Sasikala Jayabala skillfully imparted her knowledge, leaving us with insightful conclusion and motivational concept. Her interesting presentation captured our attention and motivates us to learn more. We appreciate the effort you put into the preparing this enlightenment session. Once again, I express my gratitude and thanks to ma'am for sparing time from her hectic schedule to impact information to us. We are speechless by your invaluable presence at this session. You provided in-depth analysis of the subject and shared some fascinating information. We shall bid our time for further such workshop in order to advance both our personal and collective knowledge.